Hey guys, so today's video is going to be over water displacement, okay? We're going to talk about volume and how you can measure irregular objects. Okay, so it's just a little tiny clip. Hope you enjoy, okay? So how you measure volume is we use one of these graduated cylinders, okay? We measure volume by using the little lines that have here, and it gives us an exact measurement. Liquid, we usually measure it in milliliters, okay? So whenever you're working in science, it has to be milliliters. Ounces and all that, you work with that with something for math or other things. But science, you always do milliliters, okay? And this is how you do volume. So let's practice that real quick, and then we'll measure an irregular item, okay? So let me fix the camera. All right, so right here, I have some liquid, but you can barely see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple water droplets of food coloring so that we can see the actual color. All right, so that we can see the measurements. All right, so I'm gonna pour all of it and then we'll measure from there. All right, so now I can see the measurement, and when I read these measurements, it reads 108. So 108 milliliters of water, okay? This is easy to measure because, of course, liquids go in perfectly and they even out and they fill up the whole space, okay? Volume, that's basically what volume is. Volume is how much space something takes. So water or any liquid usually takes up the whole space of the container. And now, if you're doing an irregular shape, for example, this rock, okay, it doesn't really change the shape of the container because it is a solid. Therefore, when I put it into my graduated cylinder, okay, you see how it's missing. There's a lot of empty spaces there. The solid doesn't really take the shape of the container, so it's missing some of the spaces in there. So when I read the measurements here, it reads 32 milliliters of this rock. But that's really not an accurate result because the rock isn't 32 centimeters cubed, okay? It doesn't take up that many square space. And I can tell you that because I know there's empty spaces there. All right, so how can I find out how much space does this rock actually take? Okay, I can try using a ruler and measuring, but notice that it has a lot of curves. Okay, notice it has curves, it has some holes in there, so that when I try to do that, I can't really measure exactly how much it is. How much space does it take? So what I'm going to use is I'm going to do water displacement, okay? Water displacement is basically when I find out how much space this rock takes by using water, okay? So let me demonstrate that to you right now. I'm gonna pour water back into my beaker, to my graduated cylinder, okay? And again, let me double check the reading. And you do have to look down. It does read 108. 108 milliliters of water. 108 milliliters of water. Now, in order for me to find out how much, okay, did you figure it out? Very good. I have to put the rock inside this container again. At first, I tried it without water, and it read about 32. Okay, and there were some spaces that were missing. Now, the water is gonna fill in those spaces that were missing, and it's only gonna give me the rock's dimensions, okay? So whenever I put the rock in there, I'm gonna be able to read exactly how much space the rock takes up, which is volume, okay? I wanna find out the volume. All right, so I'm gonna carefully put it in there, and then we'll read from there. So remember, our reading was 108 milliliters. Let's see if if it goes up. It has to go up, right? So same thing when you go, when you put something in water, the water level rises. So the water level should rise, and that space, the difference of water level rising, that's how much the rock is going to be. That's how much space the rock has, okay? All right, so let's test it out. So it was 108. We put the rock in, and let's see how much it is now. So right now it is at a 120. So it is now at a 120. It was at 108. Now it's at 120. Okay, so those that can do mental math, let's do it. Come on. 120 or 108 to get to 120. How much is that? There you go. You got it. It is 12. Okay? 12 what? Now, remember, rocks cannot be measured in liquid. Rocks have to be, rocks are not liquid. So we have to use a different kind. So instead of milliliters, we're going to say that the rock was 12 centimeters cubed. Okay, and that's how much space it takes in centimeters. Centimeters cubed. Okay, so let's pour the water back out, and then let's see how that worked. Okay, so again, the rock, we can't really measure how much space it takes, right? And because we can't measure using a ruler, we have to use water displacement. When you pour water in here, it reads a specific level, okay? When I dropped the rock inside, the water level rose, and because the water level rose, that's the difference that the rock made. And because of that, it gives me a different reading, okay? So, how can you create this? How can you recreate this? What are some other irregular objects? What are some other irregular objects that you can test? Okay, are rocks the only ones that I need to put in water, or is there others that I need to put in water? Okay, so go ahead and let me know in the comments, and we will see you guys next time. Bye bye. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a good one.